he took office, on issue after issue, crisis after crisis, that is exactly what we have seen in my husband. We have seen his values at work. We've seen his vision unfold. We've seen the depths of his character, courage, and his conviction. Think back to when Barack first took office. Think back to where we were. Our economy was on the brink of collapse. You hear me? Newspapers were using words like meltdown, calamity, declaring Wall Street implodes, economy in shock. See, for years, folks had been lured into buying homes they couldn't afford, so their mortgages are underwater. Banks weren't lending. Companies weren't hiring. The auto industry was in crisis. And this economy was losing an average of 800,000 jobs a month. Do you hear me? 800,000 jobs, and a lot of folks were wondering whether we were headed for another Great Depression. See, now this is what Barack faced on day one as President of the United States. This is what welcomed him into the office. But instead of pointing fingers, instead of placing blame, your president got to work. See, because he was thinking about folks like my dad, folks like his grandmother. And that's why he cracked down on lending abuses, so that today when you apply for a mortgage or a credit card, you know exactly what you're getting into. That's why he cut taxes for small businesses and working families, because fortunately we have a president who believes that here in America, teachers and firefighters should not be paying higher tax rates than millionaires and billionaires. He got the auto industry back on its feet. And today, new cars are rolling off the line at proud American companies like GM. Yes, indeed. And today, while we still have a long way to go to rebuild our economy, understand that we have had 30 straight months of private sector job growth under this president. A total of 5.1 million new jobs. Good jobs right here in the United States of America. That's where we are today. Now when it comes to the health of our families, Barack didn't care whether health reform was the easy thing to do politically, because that's not who he is. He cared that it was the right thing to do. And today, thankfully, because he fought so hard for health reform, today our parents and grandparents on Medicare are paying hundreds less for their prescription drugs. Young people, like so many of you, can stay on your parents' insurance until you're 26 years old. Insurance companies now have to cover basic preventative care, things like contraception, cancer screening, with no out-of-pocket costs. They won't be able to discriminate against you because you have a pre-existing condition like diabetes or even asthma. And if you get a serious illness, let's say breast cancer, and that's the time when you need expensive treatment, they can no longer tell you, sorry, you've hit your lifetime limit and we're not paying a penny more. That is now illegal because of that. And of course, when it comes to giving all our young people the education they deserve, Barack knows that, like me, and like so many of you, he never could have attended college without financial aid. That would have never happened for him or me. In fact, what I shared in Charlotte at the convention, when we were first married, our combined student loan bills were actually higher than our mortgage. So believe me, when it comes to student debt, Barack and I, we've been there. This is not a hypothetical. That is why Barack fought so hard to double funding for Pell Grants and keep interest rates down for our students. Because thankfully our president wants all of our young people to have the skills they need for the jobs of the future. Good jobs that you can raise a family on. Jobs that will drive this economy for decades to come. And finally, when it comes to understanding the lives of women, when it comes to standing up for our rights and opportunities, kid who is not treated well or fairly in the workplace. He knows that firsthand. He knows what it means when women struggle to meet the demands of their jobs and the needs of their families. And believe me today, as a father, he knows what it means to want our daughters to have the same rights and freedoms as our sons. And that is why the very first bill he signed as president was to help women get equal pay for equal work. And that is why he will always fight to ensure that we as women can make our own decisions about our bodies and about president has done for our country. When you're talking to folks who are deciding who's going to keep this country moving forward for 4 more years, here's what I want you to tell them. Just a few things, because we don't have all day. I want you to tell them about the millions of jobs Barack has created. I want you to tell them about the health reform he's passed. Tell them about all those kids who can now afford college. Tell them how Barack ended the war in Iraq. Osama bin Laden. Tell them how Barack fought to get veterans and military families the benefits that they have earned. Tell them about young immigrants brought to America through no fault of their own and how they will no longer be deported. Tell them how our brave men and women in uniform will never again have to lie about who they are to serve the country they love. I could go on and on, but here's what I really want you to tell them. Tell them that Barack Obama knows the American dream because he's lived it. And he is going to fight every day, so that every single one of us in this country can have that same opportunity, no matter who we are, or where we're from, or what we look like, or who we love. But here's the other part. Let's be really clear that while he is very proud of all that we have achieved together, my husband is nowhere near satisfied. Barack, of all people, knows that too many people are still hurting. He, of all people, knows that there is so much more work left to be done. And as President Clinton said at the convention, it is going to take a lot longer than 4 years to rebuild an economy from the brink of collapse. But here's what I know for sure. Your president has been fighting for us. He has been struggling with us every day. And slowly but surely together, we've been pulling ourselves out of that hole that we started in. For 3.5 years, we have been moving forward and making real progress. And we're beginning to see that change we believe in. So here's what we have to ask ourselves. Are we going to turn around and go back to that same policy that got us in this hole in the first place? Are we just going to sit back and watch everything that we worked for and fought for to just slip away? Or are we going to keep moving this country forward? What are we going to do? But in the end, the answer to these questions, it's on us. It's up to us. Just keep that energy. Because understand this. All of the hard work, all of the progress that we have made, it is all on the line. It's all at stake this November. Understand that. And as my husband has said, this election will be even closer than the last one. That is the only guarantee. And it could all come down to what happens in just a few key battleground states, like right here in Nevada. Right here. So I want to give you some perspective, especially to our young people here. I want you to think back to what happened in 2008 here in this state. Back then, We won Nevada by about 121,000 votes, okay? Now, that may sound like a lot, but when you break that number down, that is just 69 votes per precinct. All right? Just think about that. 60, we all know 69 people. You all have more than 69 people on your Facebook.